Right in, while we try to do some landing.
Okay, I'm here at the Brandwatch booth at the Demexco together with Will McInnes. You are the Chief Marketing Officer of Brandwatch, and I'm very happy to have a talk with you. But please introduce yourself first to let us know who you are and what your history is about.
Sure, thanks Björn. Yeah, so as you said, my name's Will McInnes. I'm the CMO at Brandwatch, based in New York and working globally, including with this fantastic team here in Germany at Demexco. My background is in social and digital. I started one of the first social media agencies in Europe. Wrote a book called Culture Shock and did a TEDx talk once, like lots of other people. But really what I'm about is how digital changes the world that we operate in, and I'm really excited to have this conversation because even just in the chat we had before, we touched on some really interesting topics.
So what are your thoughts about the trends within social media monitoring? So where are we heading at? So we're coming from somewhere of reporting social media activities, and are we still there, or what's the status quo?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing in the client base that we have across the territories that we operate in is a really interesting distribution. But I think, let's talk about the leading edge, because that's where it gets exciting. At the leading edge, I think we're seeing a significant kick on from more passive ideas of social media monitoring and social listening. And that's why we're really getting behind this idea of enterprise social intelligence. What does that look like? For me, it's our client that is identifying trouble spots in their supply chain using social data and other business data blended together so that they avoid multi-million euro problems further down the line. It's the client of ours that's using social data to monitor the reputations of board members who don't belong to the company to protect themselves there. It's the client of ours that is using CRM records together with social data to really understand the whole customer's journey and customer experience through what they say online, their net promoter score and customer survey data, the amount they spent on the product and which product they bought. So for us it's about the fusion of social data with other business data, and I think that's what gets really excited. In terms of specific trends, seeing a big growth in the interest in location data, big growth in the interest in image analytics, and a big growth in the interest in not just the words that people are using in social, but who is talking, which is why we bought a company called Peer Index in Christmas last year.
So when you're mentioning that you're connecting social media data with other kinds of data within the company, then we're certainly reaching out now for going from just monitoring the social media sphere to a more broader approach of monitoring the market, aren't we?
Absolutely. I think we've taken a wrong turn as a community, and we've been trying to prove social media marketing ROI. I don't think that's what businesses and organizations care about. I think what they care about is return on investment, like real return on investment. And I think to get that, you can use social, which is really fresh and authentic and real time, and blend that with other forms of business data. That's where you're going to get the really valuable answers. I think of social on its own as like a field full of the same crop, but actually, nature works best when it's mixtures. You don't want a monoculture. You want, that richness coming together. So that's what we're heading towards.
How are the companies are taking up with this? So you mentioned some companies, some clients before, but when we talked before also, we also realized that it's mainly English-speaking based, US-based companies. They are always more advanced than German companies, but what do you think about Europe? Are the European companies, and especially also the German companies, already at this point?
I was chatting to one of our German clients earlier, we have a customer advisory board of 8 or 9 of our kind of leading clients that we think are doing the most interesting work, and he's a member of that. In fact, we have several, so I would say 20% of that group is from here in Germany. I was really pleased to hear his update. We are definitely, as a European, it pains me to say, but we are further behind than typically America, where the scale is bigger, the language is consistent, and the investment is there. But what he was telling me from a famous German manufacturer was he's really getting the internal demand, and he's able to say to his internal customers now, okay, I need to cost this service to you, and they're saying, yep, we want it, and he's looking to make between 2 and 4 hires in the near term, which will take his team from himself to 3 to 5 people. So substantial growth just within that one business, and that's because where he goes in the business, he's finding more and more that they're saying, yeah, we use the Brandwatch data and we were thinking about doing this next. So we do have to challenge ourselves. We are a bit further behind, but we are still seeing a maturation. We're still seeing a kind of development that's heading in the right direction.
What are your recommendations for project owners which are still more on the reporting side and maybe a little bit stuck because they don't have any other objectives for their projects? How can they advance their projects?
Yeah, that is a really, really good question. I think there's a couple of answers that pop into my head. The first is that one of our clients once said to me that in research and in reporting, we can get stuck on the what. So what does this tell us? What can we see in the rear view mirror? He said to me, Will, what we need to do is not look at the what, we need to look at the so what and then the now what. And I thought that was a really elegant model. It's like, yes, reporting is the what, but so what is the insight, and now what is the decision. And that's what we got to do. We got to be making decisions. And then the second part is, I mentioned that Brandwatch is kind of heading towards this vision of enterprise social intelligence. If we look at the first word, enterprise, it's about finding bigger groups of internal clients. Our clients who are getting the most value from this world, they're not just using it for marketing insights. Like I said before, they're using it for product feedback. They're using it for crisis. They're using it for broader, interesting business challenges around distribution risk. That I think, so it's locating more internal customers and emphasizing decision making rather than charts.
Great. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Björn.